Hi Maria, you are the founder of the BATC6 system, which is the Beat Anxiety and Gain Confidence in 6 Steps system. I know you also collaborate with local and national charities. You often talk about how anxiety and stress being one of the greatest challenges of our society.
Yeah, that's right. I think we all know that the NHS is having lots of challenges at the moment with the amount of referrals they have, not only for mental health issues but also for physical ailments related to stress and anxiety. I became a therapist many years ago. I left a career in finance and management, and I started to work in lots of alternative and complementary methods that aim to achieve rapid results, and that's why I created the Beat Anxiety and Gain Confidence 6-step system.
Okay, you often talk about how important it is to have a positive mental attitude towards things. Why is that?
Indeed, because having a positive mental attitude is what is going to lead you to achieve your goals and be happier, or on the contrary, be stuck and feeling very, very disempowered. When we have a positive mental attitude, the challenges that we see every day, they can just that and not stop us from moving forward. When we don't have that resources, challenges can become real hurdles and impact our health, not only mentally but also physically.
Okay, well, people talk a lot about stress and fight or flight responses, but very few have a good understanding of this.
Yes, that's a reality. I see clients all the time in my clinic coming over with all sorts of health issues, from stomach aches, headaches, palpitations. Most of them have already visited the doctor, they have done checks and they know that nothing serious is happening to them. But the first impression is, I'm going to have a heart attack while having a very serious disease. And that is because the fight or flight response is constantly making them feel unwell and affecting their immune system and all their organs.
Okay, so what actually happens during that fight or flight response?
I know, it's one of those tricky words. To put it in simple terms, the body and the mind have always responded to dangerous situations to keep us alive. So in the time of the man of the cave, you will have all sorts of beasts and animals that will come to attack you, and you will have to be able to respond quickly, either to fight for your life or run away so that you didn't get hurt. Unfortunately, our mind and our body have not changed and have not developed in recognizing that we don't have any more lions coming along our street. Nobody's going to come and attack us. And normally we know there are things happening, but the reality is not something that happens all the time. Most of those challenges happen in our mind, and they are not physical in the physical realms. So the mind does not recognize that now what we have is pressures that come through deadlines at work, financial stresses, etc. And it reacts exactly the same. And it reacts creating chemical changes in your body. That it goes from bombarding you with and increasing your adrenaline and cortisol hormones that are related to stress responses and affecting everything that is going on inside of you.
I see. That's why people report not being able to think clearly.
Yes, it's for that and for many other things. To give you an idea, when adrenaline kicks in, it takes around 2 to 3 minutes from the moment you find something like, I believe this is a threat. It's a stressful response. So adrenaline and cortisol start pumping, your heart rate starts going up and going very, very, very fast. That's why people report palpitations. The blood in your body is redirected to different parts, like arms and legs. Your stomach, stops digesting. What is the point of digesting food if I'm going to be eaten by this terrible monster? Yeah, the immune system again doesn't become effective and very, very effective in how it works, because again, if I'm going to be dying, it's going to be so dangerous. Where's the point of worrying about a virus? And the same happens to the blood flow in your brain and the glucose that goes there. The blood flow in the frontal lobes decreases, and therefore it's much more difficult to think clearly, to take decisions, etc. sometimes that affects our vision, and we have layer vision.
Okay, well, here's a question for you. Winston Churchill once said, the pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Do you agree with this?
Absolutely, and that's the case. Whether we have a positive or negative attitude sometimes depends in our upbringing, in what we have been exposed to in the first few years of our life. If we were brought up in an environment where positive thinking was the norm, we are now more predisposed to challenge any thoughts that are negative and look for solutions. This doesn't mean we are stuck if we have not been exposed to those positive environments, but it just means that we'll have to work a bit harder in achieving that mental control. So absolutely, and furthermore, they are proved, there's a lot of research on this, and it proves that positive thinkers live longer than negative thinkers. Those who have a positive mental attitude will have that. There is a research of the Mayo Clinic that ran for over 30 years, and it proved that you will have 40% less chances of an early death if you were a positive thinker.
Okay, so would you say then that having a positive attitude helps you to combat illnesses?
It does because if we know that being in a fight or flight response, being stressed or being anxious is going to decrease the effectiveness of your immune system and your organs, it means that when you are stressed and anxious on a constant basis, and some of us are all the time now being anxious and stressed, you are being exposed to all these illnesses. There are many researchers that prove this. The Carnegie Mellon University did a research in which they exposed people with different attitudes to viruses like flu virus, for example, and they demonstrated that those with a more positive attitude were much more resistant than those that have a bleaker attitude to things.
Can we really change our attitudes?
Yes, we can. I'm not saying it is easy if you have not been, in that wonderful environment that it would be ideal. It means that you need to take charge of that, be aware. There are many different ways of you doing that. A very good exercise to start with sometimes is when you're going through a challenge or a negative situation, to focus in gratitude, in what you're grateful for. And start analysing and realising which are your core beliefs, because those core beliefs are the ones that are going to help you to believe that you can rise above every challenge you have. On the contrary, being successful and unhappy. And those challenges can be very simple things, like simply as crossing the road, and other ones are very challenging, as maybe having a poor meeting and being able to speak confidently and feeling well.
So what kind of techniques are we talking about?
There are many techniques. Many people contact psychologists or a CBT practitioner that help them to modify their way of thinking, but I am a very impatient woman, so I specialize in techniques that tend to create a very rapid result, something that is very obvious very quickly. So techniques such as meditation or mindfulness, visualization or clinical hypnotherapy aim to create those changes very rapidly. It is important though that you obviously find a practitioner that is registered with a complementary mental health council, so they are board registered practitioners. These techniques are very, very powerful. So you think about it, everything you see, touch, smell, everything you experience creates changes in your brain. Every thought creates a microscopic change in the structure of your brain, and with that, new neural pathways are created, new ways of thinking, new ways of reacting. So techniques that offer rapid results are the ones I specialize on, and that I found more empowering and more useful to me and to my clients. This doesn't mean any other ones are not, so everybody has to look for the one that works best for them. What I know is that in my experience, you will see in my page hundreds of testimonials. Those techniques have a very, very good rate of results, and I think variety is the key, is to find what suits you best, really.
Okay. Well, it is often talked about the power of our mind and the placebo effect.
Yes, and that's furthermore proof of how powerful your mind is. There have been so many researches about placebo effect, and we know very well that just the thought of taking a tablet, whether it has any medical component to know, activates the healing power of your mind. And that is quite powerful, to think that actually I'm having a tablet that really has, medical components there, and something that is absolutely empty, hasn't got anything, I'm still going to heal. Demonstrates that we are powerful beings, and we need to explore those things to improve. Medication is very important. There is no doubt about it. We must never ignore medication or stop medication. I think that's one of the greatest challenges of the pharmaceutical industry, that sometimes, I'm not saying with every single medication, but sometimes they test certain medications against placebo and they have a very similar result. Especially in blood pressure tablets, over a time, the difference is around 0.9, so it was around 80.1 results with blood pressure tablets, and placebo 79.1. So it is, a powerful thing to look at. Why we are not investigating that, why we are not using this to help people to get better, take control of their thoughts, and empower themselves, is one of those questions that remain unanswered. According to the placebo effect expert Fabrizio Benedetti, the existence of the placebo effect suggests that we must broaden our view of the human capabilities.
Well, thank you, Maria, for this insight. So we are coming to a close, and if we can just resume this in a few words, what would you say?
I would say that we are all in work in progress. We can all change, we can all take control of our lives and our mental health. It is important to remove the stigma of mental health and be able to talk about this freely. Not only to achieve our goals and a better mental health, but also a physical health that goes along with it. When we do that, when we talk openly and we talk about techniques that can help us, we get a chance to heal. That empowers us and break us free.
Okay. So how can anyone contact you if they have any queries?
Okay, always at the end of the videos there is information about my website and my contact details, and anyone that has any questions, they are more than welcome to contact me. My website is the www.bagc6.co.uk. You will find lots of information, and I usually share lots of resources, so whenever someone approaches me with any doubts or any challenges, I always try to share good things so that they can help themselves.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.